Perfect. Hello and welcome to the Stark and HomeSmart 10-week social media series. We are excited today. Hi, Deanna. Hi.
Hi. I'm super
Hi.
excited today.
Good. I haven't talked to you since the last webinar. How's life?
Life is good. Things are good. It's been really, really busy, and I'm excited. So things are getting back to normal a little bit now around here. So it's good.
Awesome. So the social media world is picking up, remaining stable, or going down?
I think that everything, it always shifts and moves around depending on what tools are doing what. So with Instagram adding a lot of new things and Twitter adding new things in terms of capabilities, it's always in flux. So it's things are good, but we had a bunch of stuff that changed with Instagram. So a lot of people asking about that and things like that. And we just had a bunch of really big nonprofit organization events that happened that we were helping with. So now things are starting to slow down a little bit, which is nice.
Oh, good. So as of today, how many real estate agent and property management companies are you representing?
Oh my gosh. Real estate brokerages, like three, and individual agents, I'm helping with like five or six. I try
That's
and keep the
good.
numbers down so that I can give everybody individual attention as they need it. And
Awesome.
then nonprofits locally, we're working with like four different nonprofits right now. So really excited.
Perfect.
Yeah,
All
yeah,
right.
yeah. Super
So the
excited.
way I see it is you have some room for a couple more agents.
Yeah, I could take a couple more on. That'd be fun.
Okay, cool. So today, as usual, I like to do the Mike Be Honest thing, and the Mike's going to be honest in saying I've been really bad and I haven't been tweeting, um, and I know I should do more of it, but I briefly went through the slides and I was like, holy moly, there's a lot going on with Twitter back there.
It's a lot. It's a lot. It's crazy.
All right. So I think we waited for enough stragglers to come on. So if you don't know who I am, my name is Mike Bjorkman, owner broker of HomeSmart NCG in northern Los Angeles. Cities are Santa Clarita, Westlake, and Northridge, California. Obviously, we're talking to the wonderful Deanna, social media rock star. And then in the slide, which I don't know if she's on here or not, Julie Odell, our recruiter at HomeSmart. I don't think she's on, so I'll say, hi, everybody. That was Julie.
She
So,
sounds like she might be a little bit sick or under the weather.
exactly. All right, let's get moving. So a couple things you guys need to really, really pay attention to if you haven't been on our webinars before is a couple of our Facebook groups, which is a huge, huge benefit to your business. The most important thing is you can um, follow those. Oh, we didn't do Julie's 30-second HomeSmart commercial, so I'll do it. So hey guys, don't forget $3,600 cap. All the tools, technology, and training that'll blow your mind. HomeSmart's proprietary software gives you all kinds of goodies. If you haven't checked it out, make sure you do. Look at joinhomesmart.com. That's joinhomesmart.com. All right, we did our commercial. Everybody's happy. Let's go into our Facebook groups. Our Facebook groups have been jamming. So if you're not in the Stark and HomeSmart social media or Stark and HomeSmart 10-week social media, make sure you search it, join it. And then most important for keeping up with real estate training in general is the HomeSmart Next Level Training group. Just search that in your Facebook bar. It'll pop right up and we'll let you in. And our podcasts have been extremely active lately. So after a year, I've finally committed. Julie and I are back in the studio. We've laid down about 6 tracks. I think the latest one or two, maybe that was episode 17. And very soon, maybe this week is 18. We're talking about buyer loyalty, how to find homes not on the market in this inventory. And then we talked about, hey, I'm a real estate agent. What should I be doing all day, every day? So there's about a 30-minute um, class that we just added there. And then your Social Life podcast. You guys, if you're not subscribed to the Social Life podcast, you're crazy because while you're on the treadmill, driving in the car, you can keep up with social media and those 2 hours a day of prospecting and skill set we're talking about fit right into this. So make sure you guys follow this. And I promise we're only going to bring you the very best content there is. And what else do we have here? We're going to jump in, aren't we? Oh no, I forgot your app. The Stark Social Media mobile app, the number one reason I think why you should have that is because all of these webinars we're doing are right there. So you don't have to go looking and digging to find them. They're right there on the app. So download that today from the Apple Store or Google Play. And man, we got all kinds of commercials. But you know what? That's good stuff. All right. So did you know that 80% of Twitter users will click on an ad? All right. That's you. Take over that one. Thanks for joining, everybody. And make sure you guys ask questions during this. We love it. And then I'll unmute you and ask. We can answer the questions for you.
Yeah, totally. Please ask questions. That number sort of shocked me too, because I haven't really heard or had a lot of clients who have wanted Twitter, because it seems like, okay, well, it's a lot for like just fun or like hanging out. But the thing is that there's millions of national users that are using Twitter on a regular basis to get in touch with, their local nonprofits or find out what's happening in the news. Since Twitter integrated that whole video aspect, they're doing a lot of these video commercials, and they're using it in the very same way that a lot of brands are using Facebook with Facebook Live and Instagram Live. So we've got 80% of Twitter users will click on an ad. That's statistics from Twitter that came out this last year, that 80% of their users are likely to click on an advertisement just to see what it is. So that's a pretty good opportunity to get your advertisement clicked on.
I can't wait to hear how that's going to play out, because that's a little, so basically right now I'm going to be ramping up my Twitter ads. If 80% of the ads could be clicked on, that's pretty amazing.
Yeah, so you've got to think in terms of people are curious most of the time, so they want to find out exactly what this ad is going to lead to. Since we launched our app, we've had some serious play using Twitter to get downloads for the app. So you've got to think of it in terms of, you want it to be short and sweet and quick and easy. And I had a lot of questions come through the pipeline on Facebook Messenger after we did the Facebook advertising, with questions about Twitter. Do I bother? Should I do it? I don't have time to tweet on a regular basis, and that's okay. You don't necessarily have to tweet on a regular basis. But we did a recent podcast where we talked about how to get those first 100 followers, and a Twitter ad is a really good way to get those first followers. So I just want to pop over to our browser. So we're going to go step by step. I'm not going to do a bunch of slides on here. This is how you should do it. What I did, though, was I put it together in a PDF for you guys, so you can download it right now and save it to your desktop and then look at it later. And then if you have questions, what I like to do when I get this kind of stuff is I like to print it out and then like write down my questions and then get back in touch with the person who puts the webinar together. So you can always ask me questions. But
right.
First,
so you guys, if you don't know where that's at, under the handout section on the control bar next to you.
Exactly. So the first thing I wanted to show is Twitter has this really cool business blog that has all of these really great tips and tricks and ideas and success stories and resources. So if you're confused about ad targeting, or you want to learn more about ad targeting with Twitter once we're done with this webinar series, this is a great place to start. It starts to explain all the different types of targeting that you can do. And the ones that are super, super important for real estate agents and local businesses are, obviously, we want to focus a lot on this geographic targeting. So like I've said in the other webinars, you want to make sure that you're putting your audience together before you jump into doing any kind of advertising. So you want to make sure that you have your farm, right, your geolocation. Where are you going to focus on building your business? And that's the same with if you are a local business owner of any kind. You want to make sure that you're focusing your advertisements on people in your area that are interested in your services. And then, of course, the other one that we want to make sure that we're following with is behavior targeting. That's really important, and basically what that means is it's their spending, their shopping and spending patterns. What kinds of things are they doing on a regular basis? And then this is something cool, so I'll show you how it is, follower targeting. So if you're a real estate agent competing with other agents who maybe have a really huge presence online in a specific area, you can target to people that already follow them and advertise directly to those people. So I'll show you how that all works when we jump into the back end.
You know, what's funny is I'm watching the attentive rating on the site. As soon as you pulled that up, half the people went over to that blog. You guys come back. Pay attention.
Don't leave. We're going to talk about important stuff, I promise. So one of the things that I get asked all the time is how do I get to Twitter ads? I'm on my Twitter and I don't know how to get there. Where is it? Where is it on here? So if you're logged in to your desktop, this is the easiest way to do it. So whenever you're doing your ads, I always recommend making sure you jump on your desktop and get that done. So
is that the only place you can do an ad from?
No, you can do it on your mobile device as well. But I think when you're starting to get used to building your audience and creating your Twitter cards and putting everything together, it's a little bit easier to do it from the desktop and just get to know it, get familiar. So over here is this drop-down menu. If you click on your profile and settings, your little circle here, for some of you it might be your logo, it might be your headshot, it might be whatever, a picture of a house, something that you want to highlight. But you just come over here and it's Twitter ads is really easy to get to. So from there it'll pop you into your ads manager, so you'll see the same type of thing that you would see in Facebook. So it'll show you all of your different ads and then it'll say create ad. So once we're there, this is what it looks like. So there's a lot of stuff to put in here, and a lot of questions that came through was what kinds of things should I be doing? So let's go back really quick because I want to show the different types of, for some reason it took me, okay, so here we are. So this is the welcome to Twitter ads. You pick your objective on the left-hand side over here. So you'll notice that if anybody's been doing Twitter advertising recently, they've added a lot of different things that you can do now. So awareness is something that's new. They were beta testing it for a long time with heavy users. So awareness is basically it's like when you promote your page on a Facebook ad. So let's say you're trying to get likes on your Facebook page and you're promoting that page. You want to get awareness about that page. It's the same type of thing. But then we have the typical thing, website visits, followers, tweet engagements. This would be if you tweet something like a blog post, a listing, maybe you've got some neighborhood statistics that are important, and then you want to get engagement. So you want people to retweet that or like it or save it. So that would be tweet engagements. And then video views is something that's new recently in the last few months. Video views is basically you upload your video to Twitter. Usually they're short, 1.5 minute videos are good. People don't really watch more than that on Twitter.
How long can you put on there?
I think it's 2 minutes is the max.
Wow, I had no idea. Can you advertise a landing page if it says direct to website? Is that the same thing as throwing up your landing page? Because landing pages are back again for some reason.
Yeah, absolutely. As long as it's like a viable link, right? So we're not, as long as it's pointing to something that's a viable link, and Twitter will tell you whether it is or it isn't. But yeah, landing pages are totally fine.
What about YouTube videos? Do they like that, or do they like them uploaded?
You can link to a YouTube video and then do tweet engagements for it. So that's typically what I'll do if I'm trying to drive traffic specifically to a YouTube video, like I want to get more engagement on my YouTube channel. I will do this one. But that's, it depends on what you're looking to accomplish. So if you have a specific type of video that you're looking to do an ad with, then I would say upload it to Twitter and then use the video views one. But if you're looking, your goal is to drive traffic to, let's say you've got a virtual tour on your YouTube channel and you want to increase engagement on that, I would tweet it as a link and then use the tweet engagements ad to drive traffic specifically to that YouTube video.
Wow. So many things that we don't take advantage of, I tell you.
Website conversions is in beta testing, but they opened up the beta to all users. So basically, it's the same type of thing. You're going to create sort of like a Facebook pixel and put that on your website, and then wherever you want specific conversions tracked. So if you have a shopping cart or a form to fill out or anything like that. It's currently beta testing. I'm finding it to be a little bit wonky and reporting not super accurate. So test it out and see, but just know that with any reporting on social media channels like Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, take them with a grain of salt. They're not always as accurate as we want them to be. And then the one that we've been using, app installs and re-engagements. So that's specifically for apps and things like that. So if you have an app, you should use this one for sure. Make sure you're getting and taking advantage of those downloads. So I wanted to kind of walk through what all this stuff is up here at the top next to where it says we've got the little Twitter and the ads, because this was something that somebody asked me is how many Twitter cards should I have? Should I have a bunch of Twitter cards? And then it dawned on me that people may not know what that is, and that's where I think
That's
a
the
lot of
question that popped up.
I think a lot of people get hung up when they start creating an ad, because you get down to that bottom part and it asks for, so let's say we do website conversions, and it tells you exactly here how it works and what you pay for and when you should use it. So if you're just getting started with Twitter ads, they're super helpful because they've had a lot of issues when they first launched advertising with people not wanting to use their advertising tools because they were so hard to figure out. So let's just go ahead and we'll start with this as our test campaign, and I'll show you all the different steps. So right up here it says creatives, and I think people skip over that because they're not really sure what that means. So when you get to managing your creatives, let's say I clicked on that, they've got three different things. It's got tweets, it says cards, and then it says media. So the Twitter cards, basically what that is, so tweets would be everything that you've already tweeted. You can go ahead and sort it based on scheduled tweets, so if you had anything that was scheduled, promoted tweets, organic tweets is a whole list of everything you've ever tweeted. So if you have a lot of tweets like we do, there's a good picture of us. Anyway, so anything you've ever tweeted is here.
So you can just go in and say, you know what, I feel like promoting that today. I'm going to go in
and you can totally do that. So if we decided we wanted to promote that, you can go over to this right here and it'll say view tweet activity, and you can just promote your tweet.
Wow.
Yep. So let's go back to creatives really quick. So there's a lot of stuff in here. So this is just all your tweets, and you can decide if you want to promote things, if you want to use them as an advertisement. But this is, let's go to Twitter cards, because I know that this was a question that came up, and basically what this is you can create a bunch of Twitter cards, or what they should have called them was like ad templates. So this is an ad template for an ad that you can create in the future. So here is a sample one, right? So this would be the Stark Megaphone. It's something that we use in everything that we do. For the app cards, I have two different versions. So I have one that's got the black background, and then one that has all this information, and I would use those at different times just to see how they work. But what you do when you create a card is you can create the three different kinds. So let's say you wanted to create a website card. So and this is all also in the downloadable PDF for later. So don't worry if you miss anything, you can watch the video and you can look at the PDF. So basically what it does is it says, here's what your ad would look like. And this is where the image would go. And what you do is you want to create an image that is 800 pixels wide by 320 pixels wide. Oh my gosh, Deanna, how do I do that? I don't know. It's very confusing. So let's go over here. So let's see. In here, we have our Create Design stuff. So in Canva, which is a tool that I think a lot of people are still using, I like it a lot still. I've recently come across a couple other tools that I will share if you're in the Home Smart and Start group that I like a lot. But you're going to want to use custom dimensions, and the custom dimensions will give you the right size for the Twitter ad. So we've got our 800 by 320, and what you can do, it just has to be super simple. I mean, put together, if you have a picture or a logo, or let's say you're advertising a specific listing, put that in here, and then use that for your Twitter card. Maybe you're highlighting the pool, maybe you're highlighting the amazing family room with bar and all kinds of cool bells and whistles, surround sound stuff. So It doesn't have to be super over the top, lots of text and information. People are more engaged by images, so you want to make sure that when you're putting it together, it's the right size, but it's also really appealing. And I think we talked about last time with the landing pages is people will click on stuff if it looks really cool. People will engage with something if they think they're going to get something out of it. So you want to make sure that your images are the right size and that that they're cool and engaging. If you need any kind of stock photos, so let's say you need some stock photos, Canva actually has a bunch of free ones that
Did
you
you
can
see that
use.
list I sent you the other day?
Yeah, I did see that. I was
Isn't that
like,
crazy?
my mind was blown. Um,
We should share that with the group one of these days.
we will share that with the group. So let's say I wanted to do something like this, just something very simple. You can do anything with these kinds of things. If you have pictures of the home that you're looking to sell at that time, you can always upload them onto your Canva. But you could do all kinds of like cool stuff. So let's say we're just gonna make sure our changes are saved. Just download that. And it's free, so it's not going to charge me anything. And then they give you like a cute little quote. So let's do this. So as we add our image, let's go to downloads, untitled design, and there you go. It fits in nice, perfect, no problem whatsoever. And then you can always change it if you don't like it, and it'll show you. So you get a really good preview of it, and you can see what it looks like. Then, of course, you want to add in your URL and then a headline for it. So, Stark Social Media Agency. And then you can put whatever you want in the headline right here. You can say, like, see this home now, free home evaluation, what's your home worth today, and then just name it something that you're going to remember for future use. And then once you're done, you go back to Cards Manager, and then you've got your cards there. So these, again, a card on Twitter, and I don't know why they named it card because it doesn't make any sense to me, the name at all. It's just an ad template. So if I decide I'm going to do an ad and I look for these, they'll be there later for me to use. So I'll show you how that works right now when we pop back into campaigns. And then also we have media. So this is a library of all of the pictures that we've ever used in association with a tweet. So if I've ever tweeted a picture from the Stark Social Twitter, like here's our picture that I tweeted of Mike and I getting started. We have our Spotify playlist that's up. So any pictures, that's going to show up here, and you can actually take those and use them again. So if you want to come back, then you can use them again for a tweet on Twitter, or you can say promoted only and only deliver to users targeted in campaigns. Do not deliver to your followers.
So that's a dark ad.
Exactly. So this is Twitter's version of a dark ad. So
and then that is technically a Twitter card, which you just made with that picture.
Exactly. Yeah, so there's,
Crazy.
it's like there's
Crazy.
so much Twitter stuff that I just felt like we had to jump into it. I wish we had like tons more time. So
Oh, we do. We just keep going.
okay, so you can sort these in tweeted, not tweeted, videos, images, GIFs. So if you're using GIFs, then you can look and say like, oh, this one was really cool. This Jimmy Fallon one, I like that a lot. Terry Crews, whatever you want to put in there, and then you can go back and say, okay, so I'm going to make this into an ad, and this is going to be promoted only, and I'm going to do this, and I'm going to link to something else. So this is a great way to, if you have, a lot of people say, well, I don't have a lot of content for Twitter, or I'm not sure. It says I should tweet between like 10 and 15 times a day. It's okay to recycle stuff you've already used and test it at different times of the day with different links, with different text. You can also upload media to save for later. So let's say you create a bunch of really cool images that you want to use for Twitter. Then you can upload them here and make sure that they're there for you later. Um, let's see, what else? Oh, somebody had asked me, and I'll show just really quick. Let's see, do we have any videos? I think we just have the one where I was like playing around. And then, let's see, so that's just images. Okay. So this is the library, and I really recommend, if you're looking to get your feet wet with Twitter advertising, to take advantage of your Creatives library. You would be surprised how many things that you've probably already tweeted that you could reuse at a different time, especially if you're looking to do home valuations, if you're looking to do like social media door knocking is what I'm starting to call it, so online door knocking, where you're trying to target a specific audience or a specific area. If you've got, let's say, a local neighborhood in your farm, out here it would be like if you're focusing on Stevenson Ranch is one of the neighborhoods, you would maybe take a picture of something or find a stock photo of something that's notable in the area. So for us, we have Magic Mountain is very local. Our mall is very notable because it's been in a lot of movies and TV shows. We've got some really great fountains and water features and golf courses and cool stuff.
Dang, Stevenson Ranch Fountain.
I know. And Stevenson Ranch Fountain is in everything. So there's one more resource I wanted to share. And Buffer created this, and it's not linked anymore on Buffer's website, but it still exists. So it was like I thought it was gone, and then I had to click around to find it. So I will share this link in our Home Smart and Start group. So if you're not already there, please join it. They have over like 600,000 images in here. And what I like to use this for is when people are asking me, how do I do those like really cool quotes? Like inspiration, like Motivation Monday. Somebody was saying, I saw this really cool like TGIF thing that you did on Twitter. This is what I use if I have no inspiration and I'm not sure what to post. It auto sizes it for you so that it'll work well with Facebook or with Twitter. I use this mostly with Twitter. And you can search different kinds of images. So like if you want to do something like inspirational.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
I hate my little quote app that's all lame that looks like everybody's.
You can change this so like it's got different filters on it. So it's cool. I like it. If you want to get rid of it, light contrast always works for me. And then they have different quotes and they change them pretty regularly, so it's not the same stuff over and over again. And then you can also change what font it is and how big it is and if it's bold or not. So play around with it. And then you can always...
What's my favorite TGIF one?
You have a favorite TGIF one?
Mm-hmm. The grind includes Fridays.
Oh, the grind includes Fridays. And Saturdays and Sundays. No. But you can tweet it directly from here. If you're using Buffer, you can schedule it to Buffer. So it's really cool. And then when you do tweet it, it shows up perfectly on Twitter with your tweet attached to it. You can also do Pinterest and Instagram sized. So if you're looking to do like Pinterest covers or Instagram.
I hope you guys are all writing that down because that is really cool.
So it's pablo.buffer.com, but I will, join the HomeSmart group and I'll share it just to make sure that it's there. Okay, so we've gone through some resources for creating cards. You've got your cards manager. Let's see. So we did that. So let's go back to our new campaign. So there's a bunch of different kinds of campaigns that you can create. This is where it gets a lot like creating a Facebook ad. So if you've already been doing Facebook ads, then you won't be terribly intimidated by it, but it's a little less step-by-step friendly than Facebook is, and they've worked on it a lot to try and make it more step-by-step friendly. So obviously you want to name your campaign. You want to make sure that it's something that you're going to recognize when you come back to it. And also, if you're A/B testing ads, so you're doing, let's say, one image versus another image, or one version of your text versus another version of your text. You can say, test 1, 2, 3, version A, and make sure that you know that that's what it is. Version A is going to be this text with this image, and I'm going to run it for a specific date. I don't like to just start immediately and let things run continuously. If you're like me, you'll forget about it and then come back to it 2 weeks later when you're checking all your analytics and stuff like that, and then you're like, how did I spend $100 and something on Twitter? I don't even know. So I like to run during specific periods of time. I like to start something on a Sunday and run it through the next Sunday. If you're going to test anything, like we talked about with landing pages last time, if you want to test things, one version versus the other, A/B testing, you want to make sure that you're running it for at least a week, just to make sure that you're getting a good sample set of your followers and people. So I like to run, let's see, this would be, so that would be this one, Sunday to Sunday. And then you can always change the time. So if you want to make it super, super accurate, you can do, midnight to midnight. It doesn't matter. It's up to you guys. But I like to do a week at a time. If I know that I just want something to run for a month because I'm just trying to drive traffic to, let's say, I have a download or a white paper or a landing page where I'm trying to engage to get conversions, then I might just run it. I would run it for like a month and just see where it's at. If it's something new, I always like to test it first and just make sure that the images work, that everything is super, super, super cool. So start with a week and then compare the two, and then maybe run them again for another week and then compare. So this is key event conversion. It's optional. We'll just open it up. The key conversion tag is the website tag most important to you for tracking the performance of this campaign. So that is, in a nutshell, just like the Facebook pixel. If you are looking to track conversions, conversions being you're sending somebody to a contact page, a landing page, something that for real estate agents would be like free home evaluation, what's your home worth, what did the homes in your area sell for in the last 60 days. Those types of events, those things that you're looking to engage to get that email address, their name, their address. If you're looking to get information from them, you want to make sure that this is on your landing page or your website. And it's really, really easy. It's exactly like the Facebook pixel. You basically set it up, drop it where it's supposed to go. If you're using a tool like Instapage or Ontraport or HubSpot, they have places where you can drop this into the header, and it's super easy to do. If you're not sure how to do it, email me, and I will give you detailed instructions, and that's no problem. But just, let's see. All right, so let's say, let's see if I can, we're updating our website, so it's not there. Okay, so we'll move on. Ad placement, expand your reach on Twitter audience, on the Twitter audience platform. So basically what this is you just want to make sure that if you have a specific domain that you're going to be using for the campaign, and this goes back to the same kind of stuff as the pixel. If you don't have a website, don't worry about it. If you don't have a specific domain that you're using for everything for advertising, don't worry about it. I had a bunch of people after the Facebook advertising one that were like, I don't have a website, I just have this, my brokerage has a website, can I use theirs? If you want to just use your brokerage's main website, you can use that for these purposes, and that's fine. It's not that big a deal. But if you're starting fresh and you're new and you don't have all that stuff and you don't have those things to plug in here, don't worry about it. It's okay. We can go ahead and start with building your audience and building your following and getting everybody engaged with what you're tweeting and your advertisements and getting those emails into your sales funnel, and then we can build you up and get you where you need to be. So for our purpose of audiences, this is all the stuff we need to fill in. And the thing that I think everybody was confused about was, do I fill in all this stuff? Do I have to fill it all in, Deanna? Does that, like, I had literally had someone who sent me a screenshot of this right here and said, like, do I have to fill it all in? Because that's a lot of information. So um, I think we talked about it probably in every webinar is you should already have all of these things figured out before you start advertising. So yes, you should be filling these things in. You want to know what your target location is. You want to know, are you looking to advertise to just ladies in that area? Are you looking to target your advertisement towards men for specific ads? So you definitely want to already have all of these things figured out. So if your location, you're not sure, you sit down and decide where your farm is going to be. Sit down and decide what zip code. If you have a specific address, let's say you live within your farm, use your address, use your location as your target location. That's okay. If you just have zip codes, it's going to suggest what that zip code is. So I usually get rid of the United States because that takes away the broadness of your potential audience size. You don't want to advertise to people in New Jersey or Florida if you're here on the West Coast in Santa Clarita, California. But then you also don't necessarily want to advertise your services as a real estate agent to people in other cities if you're looking to sell homes in a specific geo-targeted area. So you can do zip codes, you can do addresses, you can do all kinds of stuff. And you can put them as many locations as you want. So if you have multiple postal codes that you want to put in here, you can put a bunch of postal codes in here. If you have a spreadsheet with all the locations, you can actually just take that and copy it over here, and it'll give you a bunch of different ones. If you have a bunch of locations that you want to enter in at one time, you can do that.
Can we upload a one of our aerial tours for a listing? Does it fit in the Twitter video thing, or do you have to resize it or whatever? You know, we have like normal.
It'll size to fit for Twitter.
Huh. Interesting. What kind of spend do you have to do? Is it similar to Facebook? Is it more? Is it less?
It's similar, actually, really similar to Facebook. So we'll talk about LinkedIn next time, LinkedIn advertising. LinkedIn is far more expensive in terms of getting good clicks. Like to get good follows on a business page, there was a significant spend that happened. So LinkedIn is much more expensive.
As with anything with them, I hate LinkedIn.
Oh my gosh. I have a client who just launched a new business page because they changed the name of their company, or they changed the name of their company to their product name versus the name of the LLC. So it was like, not to start over, but we already have like all these followers over here. So we'll talk about LinkedIn next time. I'll walk you through it, but it's just so expensive. Facebook and Twitter tend to be more budget friendly, so you can pick your budget and see how well you do with it. But yeah, LinkedIn is just another pain in my,
What kind of demographics do you think Twitter has now? Do you think it's still mixed up like Facebook? What do you think? Is it a bunch of teenagers?
Well, I think what's really cool about Twitter is that there's a lot of overlap in audience, from what I've seen and from what the statistics look like. So you've got a lot of boomers that are still using Twitter because they've just gotten used to it, especially people who are following a lot of news outlets. Like that seems to be the big thing, especially during this last election season. They actually had a bump in usage because people wanted to see what the news outlets were doing in terms of live tweeting events. And then you have a lot of people who are using video to do like tutorials and stuff like that. Those are really popular. So I think what we've seen is an influx of the younger audience, so those Gen Xers who don't like Facebook because it's not instant gratification-y enough for them. So I think a lot of them are on Twitter because they can tweet all day long and just tweet about how horrible the barista was at Starbucks and how they found something cool at Whole Foods, or like Trader Joe's has the best peanut butter, and then they can also get
Jesus.
and then they can
All right.
also get like all their information about like I actually we've gotten a lot of people who are retweeting our podcast tweets and retweet our stuff, and they're in a younger demographic because they what I read a blog recently that said like Generation X is like the podcast generation. They're listening to the new information and education stuff because it's easier. They're not having to sit down and watch or read, and it's making their lives easier, and they're getting a lot more done. So I think the overlap in the audiences is really interesting between the boomers and the Gen Xers. So I think if you're looking to target those new home buyers or people who are looking to sell their homes at a specific time in their lives, Twitter is definitely a good place to be, considering the conversion to dollar spend is really good. All right, so let's look at a few more things here in this audience features area. Select languages. This is really good for, let's say you're targeting a Spanish-speaking audience in your area. Maybe you have a specific talent with other languages that would be beneficial. So you can target different languages within Twitter, just like you can with Facebook. And then you can also decide which devices and platforms. So if you specifically want to target mobile users and you're like, this is ridiculous because there's nobody on desktops and laptops on a regular basis, you can just specifically target iOS devices, Android devices. Apparently there's a new BlackBerry that just came out, so there's BlackBerry phones and tablets are on there as well. I tend to get rid of these last two because I don't know that many people that aren't using the Twitter mobile app or something else to engage with users on Twitter. So I tend to just get rid of those two, so you're leaving off anybody that might not be interested. I literally only log in to use Twitter on my desktop or my laptop to do advertising or to connect it to another tool or something like that. So I don't generally use it. And then you can also target specific mobile carriers. This, I think, would be the best for if you have an app or a device that you're looking to get people. And then keywords is important. We've talked about keywords a bunch. If you are looking to do keyword research and you're not sure what to do, I have a bunch of tools. Google Keyword is, you can just Google it. Google Keyword literally gives you a full report for free based on your keyword that you type in. So if you type in San Diego real estate, it's going to give you a boatload of keywords. You can use a bunch, you can use them all, you can use a few of them. You can do a bunch of keywords. Twitter has built-in help, though, for you. So if you want to learn more about keyword matching, you want to read a whole bunch of stuff about Twitter keyword matching, they have a whole campaign on the business blog, and it's got a bunch of stuff here that explains how it works. So if you want to type in a keyword or a phrase, let's say we type in real estate, it gives you the option for broad match, phrase match, or negative phrase. And what these are, because this was another question I had, broad match means anyone who searches the words real estate or any variation of Santa Clarita real estate, Los Angeles real estate, the words can be in any specific order. This is very, very similar to how Google AdWords functions. So if you want a specific phrase match, so they have to type in real estate, then you would select this one. Negative would mean you want to avoid any searches that have real estate. And then negative phrase would be avoid any searches that have the phrase or it's included with the phrase. So if I was to say Santa Clarita real estate, anybody who searched that specifically, my advertisement would not come up for those people. So you want to be very careful about what you're doing. I generally, if you're getting started, recommend doing phrase match. So that way, if it's used in any order, in any part of the search, in any tweet or anything like that, you're going to get the benefit of getting connected with those users. So that's definitely something.
You get down to business. I mean, you could really be specific with this. I mean, that's pretty cool.
And that's why I like it, because you know that you're not wasting your money. And it's as specific as you want it to be. Um, the other thing that I mentioned before was you can actually add the username, so you can actually target to any similar account. So any account, let's say you have a competitor, and this is when I tell everybody, when I do my one-on-one trainings or my one-on-one consultations with real estate agents or business owners, don't be afraid to market to the competition's followers or friends. Don't be afraid to do that. It's perfectly fine. Someone asked me and said, I
Beautiful.
have I have somebody in my area who is like the hot agent and everybody goes to them for everything. And then if they can't take the listing, then they like parcel it out to whoever. Or if they don't want the listing, then they parcel it out to whoever. So she asked, she was like, so how do I do that? Like, how do I get my ads in front of people that would be searching for her versus having them actually get to her? So this is perfect. If let's say I wanted to advertise to agents who were specifically with HomeSmart, this is what shows up. That's the top. That's the top part of the search. Let's say I wanted to specifically hit people who are only looking at Business Insider. So let's say I want everybody who's looking at Business Insider to see my ad. Well, I pop that in there, and then it's going to target those people who are interested in Business Insider. But then what Twitter also does for you is it suggests other things that are similar to target. So you can look and say, like, oh, people who like TED Talks, people who like Business Week, Wall Street Journal, and then you can go through and decide, or you can select all. Um, I recommend this, especially if you have, we know that real estate is a highly competitive market. Um, and yeah, it was a little competitive. Um, you want to make sure that you're targeting to get the biggest bang for your buck. So if you put in somebody's Twitter handle and it gives you suggestions, take advantage of them and see how it runs. I mean, you can add as many as you want in here. You can get rid of them if you don't want them. If there's a specific one, like I don't want LinkedIn, Intel. If I want to specifically target people who have, like, okay, I don't know that Jimmy Fallon users are going to download my app or go to my website, but you can target specific users, and this is really cool. It's one of my favorite things to do because if you have a competition that's doing really well, take advantage of that. Get more followers because what somebody said to me the other day was, oh, I contacted another agency and I thought, well, they might be too busy for me. So then I saw something that you had posted, and it wasn't a post, it was an ad. And so I clicked it, and it took me to your website. It wasn't my website; it was a landing page. And they filled out the information. It went straight into my inbox, and I called her right back. So now we've got another engagement from someone, and it's off of them have been looking at another agency's Twitter. So it's kind of cool.
So let's do a scenario real quick.
Yeah,
So obviously, as the broker of HomeSmart, I want to hire as many agents for HomeSmart as possible. So I would put in there Century 21, Remax, Coldwell Banker, all that good stuff, and it would go to all those people that are following that, right?
yeah, exactly.
So if I wanted to launch, so let's see our Twitter cards that we have through HomeSmart. We have what, 15 of those, and we could upload those up as cards and then just set campaigns to go all the time.
Exactly. Exactly.
Guess what? Where's your pen? Write that down.
Writing it down. Da, da, da. So the other ones here are super cool. I mean, I really like everything that Twitter has added. They sort of have made it really easy to do. I know that some people get confused. There are certain things you don't have to do. You don't have to add TV targeting. I know that they do that. They've got like specific channels you can put in, or you can target for specific shows. Um, One of the cool things that I came up with for somebody who was looking to do, flipping houses was their big thing, like they like to flip. So you can target for specific shows that have a Twitter handle, if I spell words right, if I spell words at all. So you can target
Flipping out.
flipping out, If you have the names of any of the shows that you're looking to target people who are interested in that, and then you could do an ad all around, like, you know, looking for a house to flip. I've got one for sale. All kinds of cool stuff. So you could do the TV, but you don't have to. So you can get rid of it. It's not that big a deal. Behaviors we've talked about. This is very similar to Facebook.
Bad.
So if you're looking to do
Good
uh,
behavior? Bad behavior?
good behavior, they
I'm like,
don't
she's not
have.
laughing.
Are
So you
you?
guys have good questions that you're typing in here. Do me a favor, raise your hand, and I want to have you ask it. And don't be shy. You're not on video. Just raise
Yeah.
your hand, and I'm going to unmute you guys so you can ask these questions. I'm not going to answer them. You need to raise your hand.
um, So you can get rid of that, but also we can add behaviors. So you can put in real estate, you can do investments, you can do likely investors, you can do all kinds of stuff.
So as I go through my Twitter feed, you should see the people that are going after me. It's really interesting as I go through the feed to see the sponsored ads. So
Uh-huh.
it's kind of freaky to know that these people are going directly after me.
I'm just texting my son back, sorry. Okay,
Well,
so
we're not the
the,
webinar.
well, we're not in the middle of anything. So definitely try out these different ones. And like I said, A/B testing, A/B testing. Test it and see. Test one version, test another version. Um, don't be afraid to start with a small budget. That's totally fine. Um, what you do here, you can set a daily maximum budget. So let's say you want to run something for 30 days. You can set your budget to $5 per day. And then you can say total maximum budget is $150. So don't spend more than that, which I absolutely love because then that means I'm being smart about my stuff and I'm not going to, spend too much money. I can also, if I'm running this for a week, and let's say I have $150 to spend for the week, then, you do your, you change your stuff.
Hmm. So
And it shows
simple.
you over here your summary of what your reach would be. And it changes based on how much money you're looking to spend. And these are all estimations. So you don't have to spend a giant sum of money to get a good return, but you do want to test and see. So down here is where things got confusing for a couple people. So I wanted to take a good amount of our last moments to get this straightened out for some people. So here is where these Twitter cards are going to come into play. So what you want to make sure is when you're looking for putting together the creative aspects of your Twitter ad that you are well prepared. So here is what it does. It gives you all the tweets in old campaigns, and that's where somebody got confused. It's like, well, I ran one, and I don't know how to get rid of it, or I don't know how I did that, or I don't know how what. So when you get down here, when you're doing the website impressions one, you want to take advantage of, if you don't have any scheduled tweets, you're not going to have anything, so don't freak out. If you've already promoted tweets, then that would show up. If you don't have any promoted tweets, that's going to be empty, so don't worry about it. And then down here is all your organic tweets. So this is where I say use these organic tweets, and it's okay. Don't worry about it. The Twitter cards or the templates, those are going to come into play when you start to get more creative about things. So don't worry about it. It's okay. Start here, or you can also compose a new tweet. And so this is where you can add that media in as well. So you can do it from here too. So if the Twitter card thing is confusing, you can create new tweets right from the actual ad that you're creating. So that was where somebody got confused and was starting to do Twitter advertising and then had a big question. So you can do it from here. If you already have content, and I think most of us do, that you want to promote, go ahead and select, and this is what's cool I like about Twitter. You can go through and you can select multiple tweets, to run in the ad. Oh, that's Strawberry Day. And then if you're not sure and you're not ready to launch it yet, you can always save it, and then it will be listed under your campaigns. So then you can see, like, here's all this stuff. So once the ad is launched, once we've launched it, right now it's currently in draft, this is where you would see all the impressions. You would see, you can look through the audience, you can see how much is being spent, you can see all kinds of stuff. So this is where you'll end up seeing all the analytics for your specific ads. So in a nutshell, those are all the things that I got asked questions about via email or Facebook Messenger. If you guys have any other questions, we have 5 minutes left. Does anyone have any questions?
I have a couple questions. So if we have, like I said, those Twitter cards running, can you put it for 30 days? If we had a event coming up, let's say we were promoting this webinar series,
Yes.
could we just continue to run it for 30 days and not have to change it and know that it's always working? So a long term. Or if I'm an agent and I want to put my landing page, get your home value in Santa Clarita and just run it and go right towards zip codes and just let it go forever. And then when we do that, can we connect the API or whatever you call it to, how would I track? I guess you track it through the analytics, just like Facebook, right?
Yeah, exactly.
How many clicks, how many impressions, and
exactly. And then you compare it to whatever your website data is or your landing page data is. And if you guys are looking for a good reporting tool, I have one that I've recently fallen madly in love with. So I can send you the link to that one. It's called Agency Analytics. I like it a lot. And then that helps you to compare your data. So you can look at what the Twitter stats are, you can look at what your website stats are, and then you can say, like, okay, so this many clicks came from Twitter, and then here's the conversions that I'm seeing on this side, and here's all the click-throughs, and then I'm getting like 5 or 6 leads out of this ad in the last week, and so, we're going to definitely use this one again. So I would definitely, once you guys are done running an ad, make sure that you're looking at the analytics afterwards to see, like, okay, did I get anything out of that? Is that worth doing? I got a bunch of clicks, but I didn't necessarily get a lot of money, get any leads out of it or any emails out of it. But you can also, you can definitely, with Twitter, I know a lot of brands that will do like the set it and forget it type of ads, so they're just running continuously throughout the month, and that's perfectly fine.
Wow. That's it. That's easy. I can't wait to do that. I hope you guys watching this love that, because there's some really good ideas that we were talking about in there. I can't wait to target my geographical farm with all kinds of crapola.
It's going to be, you guys will have a lot of fun with it. If you need to get a hold of us,
we do. So as always, you guys, will you please publicly thank Deanna and Stark Social Media for doing this for you guys? It's a big deal. It takes a lot of work and a lot of knowledge, obviously. If you need to get a hold of Julie when you're going to join HomeSmart, when would the time be now? Email Julie at homesmartncg.com. Me, easy, at Mike Bjorkman. Ask any questions you want. And we already said next time in 2 weeks is going to be the LinkedIn. I got to work on LinkedIn too. Somebody has to force me to like it. And although it's expensive, that's where I get my contacts and my engagement from my financial institutions I work with, my asset managers through REO, and the professionals that are in our town that aren't on Facebook. And it's an amazing amount of people that you can find there that aren't on Facebook. So until next time, guys, I'll answer your questions. Some of the questions we already talked about, I'll answer those after this, and I'll email you guys or reach out through the system. Thanks, guys. Anything else, Deanna?
That's it. We'll see you in a couple weeks for LinkedIn.
Oh, yay. Bye, everybody. Thank you so much.